You're listening to the UK Christian Hip Hop Podcast on Kingdom Culture.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 16 of the UK Christian Hip Hop Podcast on Kingdom Culture. And I'm joined with Cassie and Calvin Venus. What's going on?
Hey.
Calvin, you've changed location. I
Yeah.
think our views are quite, unsettled by that. What's going on, man?
Yeah, sorry to mess up the consistency. I'm actually in the studio. I can't tell you the name yet. It's still under construction.
Oh.
Yeah, it's about 1,200 square feet back there, and there's like 3 rooms, and it's my new. I've been doing this for almost a year, just slowly building it organically and trying to stay financially in the green and stuff. And so, even this whole what you see kind of behind me will change as well. So, yeah, it's getting there though.
That's brilliant.
Still working from it though.
Yeah, man. It seems like it's all coming together. Got a lot of screens and a lot of lights and things going on behind there. It's intriguing.
Yeah.
I'd love to show you more, but I'm just even this is kind of carefully negotiated.
Yeah.
We're visual people, right?
Yeah.
And, like if you see all the instruments and stuff, I don't want everyone thinking that I'm too expensive or like I'm careful. I'm very conscious of that, like of being perceived as too expensive. And at the same time, there are people going, he uses that, and he uses that. They'll just have this kind of,
Yeah, but some people might want to know what you use actually. It's a good for those that are or is it interesting secret for you?
This is also the fun thing.
Yeah. Secrecy. You don't want yeah.
Well, it's not. I'm not trying to be secretive. I'm just, I want the power of impact. So when I unveil the studio, it's like, you know what I mean? They're hearing my work, and I'm still, my reputation precedes me, and it's keeping me busy. And so far, that's cool. That's what I want. I'm not trying to be an enigma. It's just, I don't want to ruin the impact because it's part of marketing, isn't it? And when you launch something, you want to, ta-da,
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin the ta-da moment.
Yeah. Storytelling, innit? You want to be able to tell that story in the way you want to tell it, and not none of these leaks and jibs and drabs. You want it to be like, bang. I get that. Okay. So we got a few questions here today that we want to ask the floor and find out, what your thoughts are. You're all both seasoned in what you do, very experienced as well, and we just want to have a discussion on a few questions. It's a bit different to what we normally do. We normally have a pressing subject about, something big, and then we flesh it apart. But I guess these ones are going to be a bit more snapshot, a bit more quick. So if you're listening, you're an artist, get your pen ready, get your notes on your phone ready. There's some jewels that are going to drop, and hopefully God can inspire us wisdom to help build and develop. Okay, so I'm going to go with the first question and ask, why don't we see more collaborations in our scene? And by scene, I don't mean like UK rap. I'm talking about Christian hip hop, UK Christian hip hop specifically. Why don't we see more collaborations?
I think some. Okay, I was about to say a word, but I don't want to. I'm hoping no one gets offended. But I think some people suffer from overimportance. I'm being honest. I'm being around a few things and seeing a lot of things. I've realized that I just think some people think they're too far ahead than what they actually are, and are not don't understand that you've got to. I understand you've got to give a little, and or they feel that someone else isn't good enough for them because they're not in a certain circle, and I find that very strange because I mean, as a DJ, we cross. We cross all types of groups or whatever. I don't have a preference or I'm not in a certain clique or whatever. But I find it quite disheartening that as Christians that we can't come together and sort of support each other, because that's really we're supporting each other. Not everyone's bank balance is as big as each other's, but sometimes it's good to help someone out. Sometimes that's but that's what I've observed so far. There's more, but I'm being wise with what I say. Yeah.
I guess it's not just artists as well. It's also DJs too. Do you find that as well in your profession, that you may want to work with another DJ who may?
Yeah, even that too. Some DJs are quite they can be quite again, they don't want to share, or they just want the limelight for themselves, or okay, well, fair enough, but like I said, at the same time, some of them, at some point you may have all been in the same circle, but just because if they're getting more gigs, I don't know, whatever, it just kind of gets to their head. And I've done what I've done before, and it's just not even about that. I try to, like I said, I'm a very I would believe that I am a type of person that's very welcoming. Anyone, any DJ, if you want to contact me, I will speak to anyone. As long as you're not going to stalk me, I'm cool with that. But yeah, I'm like that. I will give knowledge. But
Cass, ain't there a quality issue? Isn't that normally more where most people have this divide when it comes to quality?
Yeah, but
your perception of quality and my perception of quality is different, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true, because some DJs think they can, just because they can play 2 songs, they can DJ, but they can't mix. I mean, I've listened to some people that I'm just like, I could just I could give my son and just tell him to play songs, because that's what it is. You're just playing songs. You're not actually DJing. DJ, there's a whole lot of things. I mean, some people are scratch, some people will just be scratch DJs. They can scratch as well. Some people will can specialize in more mixing and blending. But there's some people that just think, I don't understand. I mean, I just think, like, can you not hear yourself? Like, you got your headphones on, can you not actually hear? That's not mixing.
Well, then, but what's triggering them? Like, so you're like, oh, well, can't you hear yourself concerning this item or this thing, this sound? Yeah. What if that sound is quality to them?
See, then that's where I have a problem, because that means they don't really know music, because you don't know how music should go or sound. You don't understand different sounds, different tones, different keys. You don't understand things, and that means you don't know about things as much about music as you thought you did. You may know, oh yeah, I know a lot of songs, but you don't know about sound, how things should sound. To me, I mean, okay, some people they get by, like they can just play out DJ, and the crowd. Some people in the crowd really just don't know, or don't even care about the fact that you're just like you're just crossfading. They don't care. Whereas there are some people like me, but there are a majority of people that actually do notice that you're just crossfading, and it's like there's no art to it. It's just nothing. It's got to run smoothly. Like you basically, the transitions to every song, to me, when you're playing that, should run so smoothly that the person shouldn't even know you've changed. Like those that don't really know that are in the crowd, listen, it should just be so smooth. It's just a continuous sound, pleasing sound to the ears. But when it gets all a bit like messy, then you're like, oh, what? But then that's what I mean. It's just, I don't know. Some people just, I don't know.
I was really thinking about your answer. There's things that resonated. That you think, the problem is, like, every music scene, no matter what the genre, let's keep it Christian hip hop. It needs to be and what makes a scene is a combination of individuals kind of together. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to make a scene, and you need to be a community. And if you're going to be competitive, that is not promoting the scene. That's kind of anti-community. Do you know what I mean? Like, your brand is more important than the whole community at large. You know what I mean? Like, you're carrying on stush, and so nobody wants to be your friend. You're just like, oh yeah, my man's there, I'm over here, and he's over there, and there's no camaraderie. And let's face it, when you just act competitively, that doesn't increase quality. You know what I mean? That's when you start being, well, I'm better than this person, so that's why you should hire me. You start to undercut each other, or you start like trying to monopolize the situation, and that's unhelpful. When you think of like a band and you learn an instrument, the first thing that you're told from teachers is you need to play in a band to get better. You need to play with people who are better than you for you to get better. And I think in Christian hip hop, There's none of that right now.
Mm.
I mean, that's the talk of the town here in Houston, is that we've got all these fantastic artists, but no one's part of a scene. There's no scene. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah, and we're talking about Houston. So we've got Bizzle, GS, you know, Palace is in, you know, kind of Louisiana border to Texas, and then there's artists in Dallas, and then there's artists in San Antonio, and there's virtually, it's like we're in different countries sometimes, you know what I mean? Even in the same city. And so that's my thing, man. I just think that I find it very strange that it's easier to collaborate with non-Christians than it is to collaborate with Christians. How's that even possible?
Yeah, I know, but why? What is that thing?
Competition, bro. Like honestly, like it's like you're thinking, for me to get better, like I'm a Christian rapper. The Lord has anointed me. I haven't got time to be collaborating with other people. It's like it's almost self-righteousness. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like I'm not. And so like there was actually the same or similar question posed on another Christian hip hop website. It's actually on their Facebook here in the States. It was only Monday. Why isn't there not enough collaborations? And I think it's all mentality, because you know, Christian hip hop, general hip hop. I mean, to think that most of the people in the top 10 that are hip hop artists have ghostwriters. They are, and not many people. It's funny. It's like it's shunned upon. Any other genre, I think we talked about it in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Not shunned upon. It's actually encouraged. Like that's it. And if you think about it, if you want to be better, you have to collaborate. You can't live in your own head. I mean, like, and so you mentioned an artist, maybe earlier. Maybe he just, for lack of community, or just having a bunch of people that says yes, everything you do is great. That's not helping.
Yeah,
we're not progressing.
Yeah.
You need to be critiqued. You know what I mean? You need to have your peers that you admire, and because that makes you stronger. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No, I think it's a very good point. I think that, you know, collaboration. Do you know what it is? I think it maybe just because I'm a stickler for, like, you know, flavor on music. You know, whether you got an artist who, you know, like in boxers, like you boxing, you have like, maybe not boxing, maybe we should go for something like football. You have the attacker, you have the defense, you have the midfield, you have the management, the coaching staff. They all make the team. And it's the same thing for a track. You have the different things, like you might work with that engineer, but this producer, you might get that feature to work on your track, to add a different texture or a different sound to the track. You know, you look forward to that. I don't think I've been more excited in like UK Christian hip hop than that feature with Shady, Mark Jones, Becca Folks, and Dwayne Triumph. I was like, whoa! I like, why can't we see more of that? You know, when I saw Bizzle dropped as an Instagram post or something, like, who wants to see this collab, him and KB? I'm like, wow, that's the kind of, like, you know, even Andy Mineo and Governor B's track, you know, you may not you don't have to go, wow, that's an absolutely fantastic track. I think it's more to see the collaboration and that kind of like working together to make this music happen. I think that's what I think my desire is, like, well, I want to see more of that. And I also feel like there's an expectation for that as well. It's like, you know, it's also in 1 John, or was it 1 John or 2 John? It said, when the world see that you love each other, then they'll know that the love of God is in you. And I think, like, doesn't that work in music as well? I think so. I guess, and I know the quality divide. I understand that, you know, some people's quality or levels or where they go to produce their music or record their music may not marry up with other artists, and I get that. And I think teaching and things like that can happen before a feature. I know of one person who wanted to record with Jahazo, and he sent the music over to him with his bars on it. Jahazo just came back and said, yo, boy, you got to come harder than this. So he went back, you know, writ 4 or 5 verses over and over. I sent it back, and Jahazo was like, yeah, it's cool, let's go with it. So it shows you that can happen. And I never forget the artist who it was. I don't know if he does music anymore. He was over the moon. He was like, my days, I got Jahazo's featuring on my track. I can't believe it. Like, and I heard the track and I was like, wow, this could be something really good. So I guess it's that collaboration, the desire, the want to see, like, okay, what does our love for each other as a body look like in Christian hip hop? More so, you know.
I think we have to dare to be better.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And it's hard for brands. Let's face it, everyone's a brand these days, right?
Mm.
Everybody's a brand. Everybody has a brand, and that's to be encouraged, and that's a good thing. The only negative thing is that you take yourself too seriously. You know what I mean? That you look at someone's Instagram account and judge them based on that. Then the talent. You know what I mean? You think, oh, my man has only got 200 people on his following him. Why should I follow him? You know what I mean? So then now, all they're thinking is, man, he hasn't got anything much of a brand for me to work with.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because, you know, let's face it, if we don't judge people by their talent and their merits, and we judge them by their brands, I think that's the reason why, you know, we just look very individual and we're not sharing or collaborating or whatever like that. And I think because now it's traditional that Christian hip hop don't collaborate. So it's become the norm. They just think this is the norm. This is how we act. Like if people don't realize that, you know, Kanye West don't even always make his own beats. They don't understand the concept that Dre doesn't always make his own beats. He has a team. Timbaland don't even make it all his own beats. Like people don't understand it. They have producers, and really, if they call a producer doesn't mean that just because they call themselves a producer doesn't mean they actually put their hands on the beat. They might be producing by saying, "No, it needs a little this, a little that." You know, DJ Khaled is a DJ, yes, but he's a traditional producer. He doesn't have to actually touch a keyboard to be called a producer. That's a beat maker. And so now we had this conflating confusion of what these terminologies mean. You know, I do a lot of executive producing and mixing and mastering. You know, I don't have to keep pushing it out there and tell everybody. My job is just to make sure that this whole album it sounds exactly what you want it to do. It sounds competitive on the radio against whatever you're trying to make it sound, and that we're not compromising on any element to get to where you. But they need somebody else to say that. Like we need the responsibility of individuals. If you're in your little incubator making beats, and then you're rapping on top of them without sending it to your friends that could say yes or could say no, or could say, hey, do it better. Or have somebody who's kind of been a little longer in the tooth that could tell you, hey, bro, like, let's work on that. I need to step up. I know you can do better than that. Step up a little bit more. If you're just going straight from computer hard drive to the market and then moan at other people, like reviews from a radio station or from a magazine and say, oh, man, the mixing is not really tough. It's not up there. You can't get mad at them. You haven't done your due diligence. You haven't done your quality control. You're just going straight. In any business, if you did that, you went straight to market with a product with no research and development, no time to develop and test market.
It's true. It's true. Well, on that point, as we let's end that point and go to the next one. I'm gonna drop this one because I've got this post-it up on one of my screens to remind me, because I'm an introvert, an isolated character. I like to just get my stuff done, dig in. But this scripture keeps reminding me, yo, dude, this ain't the thing, yeah. Get with people, talk with people, collaborate. Proverbs 18 verse 1. A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise judgment. So I think that can kind of sum up what Calvin was saying regarding that. Words. Right, let's flip on to the next question. Question number 2. Should Christian artists motivate their church to support their music?
I think they should motivate the church, not just their church. Their church.
Look, well, so yeah. my framework for when I wrote that question was, if artists 1 to 10 motivate their individual churches of 1 to 10, then the whole scene of Christian hip hop or UK Christian hip hop is probably more widespread, because the artist who promotes himself in this church will then somehow be able to expose those people in his church or their church to the wider collective of what's going on in this scene. That was my kind of framework. Thinking, okay, you know, if they did that, then maybe there could be more exposure for everyone else. Maybe I'm naive.
I don't think you're naive, but I don't think all churches are the same. So if it was as black and white as that, then that would be good. Because not all churches, as we discussed offline, are embracing of Christian hip hop, and they're less embracing as it's almost like they're 5 years behind from where they are in the States. And having said that, now it's coming on the other side. So there's actually less bookings inside the church in the US. I actually think the church, Big C church, you know, like people, I think we need to do things like what we're doing right now. We need to get together, discuss, and build our own, and then reach out in the community, you know, and encourage them not to a physical small C church, to a bar or a venue that allows you to do what you do. I think what we need to do is kind of have a Celtic approach to Christianity or evangelism, so I say, where we actually go out in the community amongst them, not be like them, but just be amongst them, get to know them and build relationships there and do events there. You see what I mean? And the church will recognize the good works you do because they see Christ through it. Maybe they'll embrace you then. I don't think we have to convince anybody inside the church. Because at the end of the day, Christ commands us to go out and make disciples. So go out and make disciples using work. Don't wait for the royal seal of approval. Stop looking for Aslan to get the sword and tap his shoulder and say, now you're right to go out there. Forget that. You may not get a single pound sterling to do what you need to do from the church. But if you can't put your hands in your own pockets and then invest in your own community, how can we expect, you know, stop looking for big things.
But also, Calvin, like, you know, the church is a community to many, you know, like, you know, you think about, you know, like there are some people who all of their friends or their foundations are within that church, or knowing those people, meeting up with those people and what have you. And at times they would never know that this person does this music or does this type of ministry, or where maybe like Christian hip hop. They don't know it because they may not share that element of what they do, or motivate people to go and listen. This is what, sorry, just on a side note, just came back to me. We went swimming about 3 weeks ago, so yeah. A man sitting in my car, yeah, waiting for the wife of my kids to come back from the pizza shop, yeah, so we can yam off food. Because you know, after you swim, you're bare hungry, yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So man is rapping and sitting in the car, and I'm on my phone just playing the game. And then I get a knock on the window. I look, and there's this black guy standing there, like saying, "Yeah, I just want to talk to you." I'm like, "Yo, what's up, cuz?" It was like, "Yeah." It was sick. I loved it. The minute I did that, I said, "I'm going to talk to you guys straight away." I said, "It was like, yo, bro, yeah, this is my mixtape. It's got 5 tracks on there, like a mixtape EP. Yeah, do you want to buy it?" Now, my first response would have been, because I don't do secular, you know, I don't do that. Yeah, it would have been like, "Yo, fam, I don't do secular music." But I looked at him and I thought, I ain't talked to somebody like this in about, what, 8-9 years? I said, "Fam, I know you got the local change box in your car."
Yeah.
Hand it over to him. I was like, "Yes, fam." Gave him one little spud, and he walked off. And I was like, "Raw, you know what? Big things." I'm so happy to see that. Like, regardless if he's on my side or not, I'm happy to see that kind of graft. And I'm like, where is that gone? Like, why can't we do that? Why can't we go in our church with a bag of 50 mixtapes, yeah, and be like, "Yo, boom, 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 boom. Yo, this is for £2. Okay, fine. We don't want to turn it into like money changes and whatnot. I'm not trying to say that. But you know what I'm trying to say? Building relationships, motivating people. Yo, check this out. Yo, go buy that." Why can't we do that? Why can't we embrace the motivation to those who are beside us in the pews and be like, "Yo, this is what I do. Come support it." Like that guy who came to man was like a complete stranger. I actually thought it was a thing for a moment. I was like, "Yo, what is it?" He's like, "Yeah, I got an EP." I was like, "Raw, big things." I was like, "Yeah, man, that's nice. Here's the money. Let's do the exchange." I ain't listened to it though, still, but still.
Or even what some artists can do is there's a lot of artists give their music for free because they're still trying to get exposure. Get a business card or a little flyer with yourself on it. Have your link to your SoundCloud or wherever your music is, and go outside the churches and give it to people. I don't understand, why do people rely on social media? What people got to realize is social media, it as much as it can have a big exposure, it also can limit, because people that are only going to know you are those that are following you. So you have to go out, like people. I mean, I know a lot of the younger people don't know this, but you need to actually go out and actually go on your feet, use your 10 toes, and actually go to these places, go to other places, other churches, and give out give out flyers about yourself. Give out a business card with your name on it and a link to your music. Okay, maybe you might print like say 300-400. You can go on like certain places to do it. But then even out the 300, if you get 10% back, then to me that's a win. You know, because then those 10% can then turn into an extra 5% on top. You know, people will start talking like, oh yeah, you know, I don't understand. I've not walked out of my church before and had anyone standing there giving me their music. Like no time.
Okay, I'm the opposite. If someone's standing out the street and say, "Hey, here's my music. I got an album." Honestly, like we live in the day and age where we've got streaming, right? I've got all the music I could possibly want. And you're coming to me and not even trying to have a relationship with me. And this is what I'm trying to say about the Celtic way of evangelism is based on relationships. I'm not giving anyone a single red cent unless I know them.
No, that's why I said not money. That's what I said to those that are giving away the one. Because a lot of artists, as you know, Christian hip hop artists in the UK, their stuff is for free. They have it on SoundCloud. So what I'm saying is, because you know, if they can do it the long way and go on social media, people's accounts and try and select friends, but not everyone's going to accept you as a friend. So you can try and do that, or you can just go to the church themselves. I mean, just give out something about yourself. Just like, this is me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Go and have a listen. You're not charging. You know, that's another way of doing it.
I think I kind of agree with what you're saying, Cass. Like, I feel people are incredibly receptive in the church. We wouldn't really know. I think once we start to go to, I'm not slating them off. I'm not slagging them off. I'm just trying to say it as it is. Once you go to the leadership, they have to talk. They have to think financial cost. They have to think all of the other parameters that goes towards putting on a show for you or whatever it may be. I mean, a business card, boom, have a chat to somebody. What's going on? What kind of music do you like? Yeah. Well, by the way, I do this, man. It's good to meet you and whatnot. And I believe, Calvin, what you're saying as well, build relationship too is important. You've got to be able to like have a conversation with somebody, not just walk up to somebody.
Don't give it to them, but you've got to talk to them.
I mean, what we're trying to say is like, okay, going to the church and looking for a stage to perform at is one thing. It's just one thing, you know what I mean? But if you really want to make yourself, if you're a serious Christian rapper going out there to evangelize for your music, go evangelize with your music. Stop asking for permission to do so. Christ has commanded you to do so. And that's what I try to say. The urgency shouldn't be trying to look for more stages. What I'm trying to say is that the urgency should be like, hey, look, how much is it to hire this basketball court? Yeah, I just want to make it free. Yeah, I'm going to put, can I have permission to play music up to about this time? Cool, how much is that? All right, cool. There you go. Invite the whole community to play basketball. That's what I'm trying to say. Stop trying to stop. We got to stop looking for stages. You see what I mean? Preaching to the converted is one thing, and that is a motivation. And you can build up some money and people support in that area. However, what you're trying to do is you're trying to influence the masses. And let's face it, the church is just like your street ministry. It's just a place as soon as people come together to hear Christ, you've built church there. You see what I mean? You can then go to the church and say, hey, come, I need your support because I need counseling and how to keep ministering to these people. This is what I've done here. That's what you could be looking for. You'll be looking at as a street ministry. You see what I mean? What did Christ tell us? To go to our neighbors? The neighbors, he was talking about Samaria and then to the end of the earth. So but
I feel like it's a kind of balance between the two E's, evangelism and edification. Because again, like if every Christian hip hop artist was always outwardly focused in terms of evangelism, I probably wouldn't listen to Christian hip hop. Do you know what I mean? But then you have those artists who go deep, who get into theology, who get into life questions, and really like Bizzle's What Now? Great track. It really speaks about standing up for you as a Christian in your faith. You know, doesn't matter. Keep going for Christ. And I feel like those elements are important as well. So when I talk about the church, I'm not talking about rejecting evangelism, but I feel like it is an evangelistic tool, definitely. But I think it's matured and also grown into an edification tool as well, where you had the likes of the cross movers and whatnot.
I actually think it's the same. Like, because if you're going to be building a relationship, you're building a relationship through edification. You see what I mean? It can't be done any other way. Otherwise, you could be in a soapbox saying, "You're going to hell if you live like that. You're going to hell if you go like that." You know what I mean? That's very standoffish, and you don't want to create that. Building a relationship means that you have an opportunity to exhibit love.
Yeah.
I mean, and so by exhibiting love, you'll be able to create the relationship. Their frontal lobes or their resistance to Christianity will be softened, at least, so that you can have a conversation. Because it's easier and palatable to come from it, to receive Christ through an individual who you cannot fault, because you know who they are, you built their relationship, and you like what they do. And then when you listen to the music, it should be edifying. Evangelism should be edifying. If it's not, then I don't know, you're preaching fire and brimstone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
that's a machine gun preacher. You know what I mean?
Brilliant. All right, cool. Let's go on to our next question. Top 5 things musicians, I scribbled it out, so it was confusing me. Top 5 things musicians should do when mixing their music. So obviously, Calvin, professional mixing and mastering engineer. Cassie, receiving a lot of submissions for radio, and you know the standard and level. So, top 5 things. I don't know how you want to divvy it up, but it'd be nice to have a mix of both of you. But yeah, top 5 things. Not five being the highest or 1 being the high or lowest, or the other way around. Just the top 5 things you'd be like, right, these are the things you need to be thinking about when mixing your music.
Volume.
Okay.
Volume is one of them.
Volume.
Okay, so for me, like, I want to respond accurately as possible. All right, for this to be useful for everybody. Are you talking about mixing your music or approaching mixing for your album or single? Or
Oh no, mixing in your music. So a musician who's like, you know, whether they may be sitting with somebody who's mixing their music, talking to somebody who's mixing their music, or expecting some, you know, what should they be aiming for in terms of, mixing?
I think for number one, before you even start mixing, have an idea of what you want it to be and how it's going to sound. So have some, it's what we call pre-production. So do your research, like get a Spotify list, get an iTunes list, whatever you want, and just make sure that when you speak to an engineer, he knows exactly, or she knows exactly what you want it to sound like. Failure to do so will mean that you're going to have these ongoing edits, miscommunication, the project goes past the deadline, it doesn't sound like it want, or you just, so he's a professional, so it must be right. And then you go out to the market and then people will give you the response, nah, man, I don't know who you engineered, that's wrong, you know what I mean? And so I don't start mixing until I've heard what the artist wants, personally. And so if you're going to try and do it yourself, have an objective view. It's very difficult to know what you're trying to get, and then make sure that you've listened to it in all systems. So research before you go. Pre-production,
solid. Cass.
Yeah, as I did say, my first thing for me as a DJ is volume. So a lot of the submissions that I have is the volume is too low. I don't know. I can't understand. I mean,
well, I'll tell you what that is. Yeah. That's not even mixing. That's mastering. Mixing and mastering is 2 different things. Mixing just tells you the level and frequency that of all the instruments, and just how the sonic package is going to be received sonically. But it never gives you the final, overview, over sound. And so mastering is exactly that. Mastering never does any mixing. Their job is to do all the nips and tucks to get the volume where it needs to be. So it translates in all systems. That's all their job is just to make the full track sound sonically pleasing to the listener.
Well, Calvin, talking on mastering, just quickly, what's your thoughts on these new online mastering suites, such as eMastered, and there's another one called, I forgot, Fender, I'm not sure, but there's another one, I don't know what it's called, but yeah, online. So you submit your track and an algorithm works on your music to, find out where to tweak, again, your nips and tucks and so forth.
I think it's the same as driverless cars.
So do you think
Here's the thing. There's no emotion to it. There's no craft in that. It's just on algorithms across a big, wide, general, machine. There's a lot of machine learning. So they put a lot of data. Music of this genre is usually mastered like this, and then the computer churns it out for you. Whereas, I have a conversation when I do my mastering projects. I have a conversation with you. I listen to all the things you're looking at. I find out a little bit about your audience, and then I tailor it for exactly what you wanted to do. So there is tailoring, and look, at the end of the day, you could buy a suit from that's just
good point. Very good point.
It fits exactly how you want it to, and do I say?
Very good point.
Oh, you will never actually hear me say you should always choose a mastering engineer over over a computer, because at the end of the day, all right, an engineer is a person who does exactly that. He engineers, so he hears or she hears what you have, and that person is to engineer using the tools they have to get it to where it's supposed to be. Whereas a machine goes, based on these calculations, this is what I come up with. And that's why I say it's the difference between driverless cars and a driver behind the car. They're both going to get you to a destination, only that I'm not willing personally to hand over to a computer to tell me how I'm going, how fast to go. You know what I mean?
And you can have a conversation with the driver as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can have a conversation with the engineer to be like, look, I like that part, but this sounds, relationship.
Man. If I'm buying a car, I'm driving it.
100%, bro. I'm not driving this thing.
I will expect it to be half the price.
Yeah, exactly. Some driving it.
I know I sound like Will Smith from My Robot, but
yeah. All right, brilliant. Okay, so that we've got have an idea of what you want it to sound like pre-production, volume levels, mixing and mastering obviously are two different things. So sort out your mastering. That's good. And what's your third thing? Let's go for top 3 things. So we just change it. We're going to change it. We're just going to flip this up. Top 3 things, because we want to get a few more in.
I think when you're an artist and you send it to an engineer, or your producer's going to engineer it for it, don't decide whether you're happy with it right there in the studio. Go listen to it in your headphones. Something that you always listen to every day, because you know how it translates. Go to church and just like get there early and just play it through the system, hear how it sounds there. Listen to how it sounds in your car. Listen to how it sounds in your friend's car. That's called translation. Make sure your mix is translating. And so I always encourage artists to give it 24 hours. They usually, it may be because I'm doing a good job, they usually say, oh man, this is perfect. I don't send them an invoice till 24 hours later. They don't have to pay for it yet until they're absolutely happy that they got what they got. Because after they pay for it, that's it. I have to put cool cap on my time. So I'm going to give you respect, and you engineers should do too, to listen, reflect, and come back.
Solid, concise. Cass.
Well, you said 3,
yeah, 3. Do you have any more to elaborate on that point of the translation of music, hearing it in different places?
Yeah, no, I agree, because when I get music submissions, I actually go and play it in my car too. And I play it somewhere, other places where I got different speaker sounds, just so I can hear how it sounds. And I'm not even the person who mastered their music, if they mix and master it, So I would do that as well, because I want to hear how it's going to sound to others. And for me, I'm just trying to be an extension for that artist, because sometimes there's some music I don't want to play it, because I just don't want to that artist to have have a reputation, their music ain't good. So sometimes I may not play songs based on the fact that I feel that the artist could do better. So I don't want to play what they have now, because I believe that they are getting there, but it just needs a bit more work, and that's it. So don't feel disheartened if artists, if DJs or radio stations don't play your music. It's just that sometimes it's not that they don't like it. It's not that they don't like your music. It's just that you just need to maybe work a bit harder. And because it's a case of, we don't want you to get embarrassed, or people to say, oh my gosh, that song was just not great at all. And I don't want that. That's how I see it. I mean, I don't know the artist personally, but when I do get them, I feel like, you know what, I treat, to me, it's like, you've given me your music, I see you as a brother or sister. And at the end of the day, I don't want you to have a reputation of your music is just not great. So I'm just not going to play it in that way. I just won't play it, because I just don't want that for you. So
artists are listening to this, because don't get me wrong. Like, you're hearing it from, we've got like 3 different angles here, right? Yeah. I'm an engineer. I want you to do well, because if you do well, I do well, right? Yeah. Hearing it from a DJ, because at the end of the day, they want to play good music, right? Yeah. And so they're in the business of educating and entertaining the followers to the radio station, and their job is to make sure they have good quality. All right, is if you don't have a good quality, you're not going to come back and tune in because there's that one track that made you think, man, because that's an excitement on the whole show and the DJ. All right, and you've got a magazine. All right, at the end of the day, if you want to be a credible source, a resource for information, you want to make sure that anyone that is recommending for your ears, it is good, because discernment is hard to make a second chance to make a first impression, right? So we're all here helping you guys to make sure for all the artists out there that, look, you're not there alone. You can, like, I critique music all the time. I give people help, and I'll do it free because at the end of the day, I can. Like, I'm pretty sure Cass and Charles will do the same thing, because at the end of the day, like, we're in the business of making quality known. All right, I just got to say. Because let's face it, right? You remember when the old analog TV stations where we had to dial in, right? Right? You remember oh man, we had to tune it because the station's not quite hitting it, right? Yeah. So that's where we came from. Now, I know they're thinking of getting rid of the TV license, but that's a different subject altogether. But you know, that's how it used to be. We all went through that, right? So there's a certain level of expectation when we received that. Now, or before we had the BBC iPlayer and all this kind of stuff and everything went all digital, we had another expectation. You hit a button and then it's like, okay, cool, standard definition. Everything's standard definition. Now in this HD.
Yeah, high def.
Ultra, bruv. It's ultra.
Well, we got Ultra TV. Yeah, we got Ultra, but like not everybody's fully adopted it. So even if you like, so if you watch Blu-ray, and he'd be like, I can hide that, and it's only DVD. Well, okay, I know what I'm going to get from the DVD. You see what I mean? It's not like we've abolished DVD completely. We still got Blu-ray and DVD. But there's people like me that cannot stand watching DVD because when you go HD, you never go back, right?
Yeah. It's true.
So this is what I'm trying to say. Cass is in the business of making sure when she's spinning them tunes, that is on a high level. Because we don't want to go back. We don't want to step back. It's not just because we're bougie or anything. It's because we're trying to maintain a standard. We earned your ears for a reason. You know, the last thing we want to do is disrespect that relationship by putting something that just, just slide it in there because my man, I like that guy. No, it's not about that. I like you by saying, man, bro, just look, I can recommend an engineer, or like, I don't know, like, it's almost there but not quite there. And, you know, what kind of due diligence have you gone through all of this? And let's face it, like, it's not like we're going anywhere. So
that's right. Yeah.
Put your hand in your pocket. If you really, really believe in your craft that much, back it up. Back it up by being a little bit more patient and putting a little more money with the right people.
And I think that's a solid point, especially for the fact that to remind people that you can improve. Like, do not feel like you're at the finished article. You can improve. You can ask for advice. You know, sometimes you may ask, you might get knocked back, but it's okay. There are people out there that want to help you, that want to build you up, that want to lift you up, especially in the Christian community. Just send a message through. Just ask somebody for advice, and you can have it. You can improve and grow and get better.
That's right.
Big things.
There's a rapper in Florida, man. And he's a proper rapper, because I'm not going to tell you his name. And I've heard some of I think he was going to do a feature, and we received the feature, and I was like, "There's no way it's that rapper. No way it's that rapper." Right? And he goes, "No, it's definitely him." I'm like, "Bro, this sounds horrible." So we said, "Man, we're not feeling." We say we're not feeling this because, man, we just want what you did here. It back again. It was horrible. It's worse than the last one. I was like, "There's no way it's this rapper. This is a joke. Are you sure this is the same? Is there two guys with the same name?" Because no, this is the guy. And so we have to realize, right? What I'm trying to say is that for him to sound like he always sounds, it requires a lot of hard work, right? I'm like, because I'm still a fan. I'm like, I still can't believe that this guy, his music sounds like this before it gets to that. Which means that he had a talented engineer.
Well, auto-tune. He's got a definitely great.
That's one thing. That's another thing.
Auto-tune.
It was one of those auto-tune type of rappers, but he's so talented. He's still talented. It just felt like I just saw behind the scenes. It's like the Wizard of Oz. And I'm like,
yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, even your favorite artist doesn't sound like the finished article when it first starts. So these people have good people around, all right? Every good producer, and I mean very good producer, have good engineers. It's just not, they're not supposed to be known, you know? Like producers are fans of engineers, all right? Like the same way like artists are fans of producers. And so you need to build a team where you all complement each other, because at the end of the day, it's your face on it.
That's what
you know what I mean? So if Usain Bolt wants to win another gold, he needs to have the best trainer, the best nutritionist, the best team. Now, you may not see them running next to him, but trust me, they want him to win because they all win. It's a team win. So don't think for a second that Drake is one man that does everything by himself. He doesn't. He has a big team. So find your team.
Find your team. Solid. Okay, cool. We'll end it there for episode 16. That was a very enjoyable episode. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. I mean, we up there, man. Just click the subscribe button and you get notifications directly to your phone when a new episode drops. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for spending some time with us on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. This is Kingdom Culture and we are out.
You're listening to the UK Christian Hip Hop Podcast on Kingdom Culture.